Hello, candle lovers. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Greg, and this is All About Candles. I'm your self-proclaimed Canadian candle connoisseur. I have a Bath & Body Works review for you today. This is To All a Good Night. This is the latest release of this candle. I mean, this is a nice enough label. This is kind of a standard colored wax front-facing label, Bath & Body Works format. The lid is a really nice touch. I always appreciate a cute lid that they don't try to charge an extra $20 for. This candle came out for the first time last year, and yeah, I feel like it kind of did confuse a lot of people. We were all pretty sure that it was a repackage of something lavender, but couldn't quite put our finger on what. I'm not sure if we ever sort of all reached a consensus as to whether or not this was a repackage of like a lavender type candle from a long time ago or not. So I'm gonna treat this candle like it's like brand new from last year. And this is the first time that I tried it. I smelled it in the store last year and passed on it. And when it came back this year, I was like, you know what? Let me give it a try. Wasn't thrilled. Just wasn't thrilled. Just not really a fragrance for me. The scent notes are a cool winter breeze, sweet lavender dreams, nestled in a cozy blanket. So right off the bat, when we have like mostly BS scent notes like that, I get suspicious. You know what I mean? Like a cool winter breeze, sweet lavender dreams, nestled in a cozy blanket. You absolutely do pick up on the lavender in this. This is first and foremost sort of like a soft lavender candle. However, what gets confusing to me is that there's kind of like a woodsy sort of dryness to this fragrance that I can't quite put my finger on. And when you hear a cool winter breeze, you'd think that maybe there'd be something in this candle that was a little bit higher up, like, you know, maybe there'd be a little bit of a eucalyptus in there or a little bit of bergamot to give it sort of, or a little mint to give it sort of a cooling effect, but I don't pick up on any of that. This is a very like mid-range to base level candle, and it's quite dry and a little bit woodsy. And you know what it really smells like to me? To me, it really smells like tea. It smells like not necessarily a cup of like hot steaming tea, but like perhaps some type of a lavender tea bag that you're smelling before you steep it, like dried herbs, dried lavender. And I feel like I pick up on a little bit of chamomile in this. I really do, which would kind of make sense with the theme of To All a Good Night, and could also sort of, you know, help me to understand that like dry sort of tea vibe that I'm getting. To me, this kind of smells like a lavender, chamomile, and like maybe cedar-ish. No, not cedar. Lavender and chamomile and like sort of like a dry sort of woodsiness, maybe cedar. I'm not sure. I can't quite put my finger on it, but I have known for a little while now that although I am a big tea drinker and I love tea, I don't really love tea fragrances when it like comes to home fragrance. You know what I mean? And so I wish that I had liked this fragrance more, but I just couldn't really get behind it. It just felt like I was smelling a tea bag, and not exactly the type of tea that I gravitate towards, right? Yeah, it just ended up not being a fragrance for me. Took me a while to get through this one because I never felt like reaching for it. However, I have to say that the performance on this was pretty good. I mean, I burned it all the way down until the wicks were just basically doing nothing. So I blew it out and called it a day, but I got down pretty far. At this point, it was dudded out so bad, the whole thing had liquefied. So that's all she wrote. And it performed all right. It was probably like a 7 for strength and throw, very consistently. Like, this candle had an absolute presence to it. I mostly kept it in my bedroom, which is, I'd say, like a medium to large-ish space. It's definitely smaller than the open area I usually burn my candles in. So I had it in my bedroom for most of the time, and in there, it was absolutely a 7, and I felt like it traveled too. Like, I could smell it outside the door and a little bit down the hall. So this candle had a really good, like, strength and throw as far as I'm concerned. And it was consistently, like, you'd light it up, and it got to going like pretty quickly. Now, there was, of course, a period of time around here where it dudded out a little bit. Thick ropey wicks and colored wax, like it definitely went through a little bit of a dud out period, but even then it was still projecting and like fairly fragrant. And so it was a fairly good performing candle, which makes me really wish that I had liked the fragrance more. I know that a lot of people are really enjoying this one, so I don't want to just be passing judgment on the fragrance. If you like the way that this smells in store, I would absolutely recommend it because I think it performed quite nicely. It's not going to be a repurchase for me though. It's just not. But overall, I'm kind of glad that I experienced it because it was definitely an interesting one. If anyone else has burned this, can you tell me what you're picking up on? Because all we really get is lavender, and to my nose, there's a little bit of a chamomile in there and something a little bit woodsy that I can't put my finger on. Let me know in the comments below if you've smelled this one. Anyways, that's all I've got for you folks today. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. If you could hit me up with a like, comment on this video, subscribe to my channel, that would mean the world to me. And until next time, my dear, gorgeous, and beautiful candle-loving friends, let's burn some candles and bitch about it. Thanks, guys. Bye now.